Hello and welcome to another replica review video. Today we're going to be looking at the Umarex H&K Mp5 PDW. Now, as many of you know, this is a licensed H&K weapon, so this is why I got all the logos up on the box. And then also in a minute I'll show you on the gun. Now, while we're on the subject of the box, it does come in this rather nice box here. It's not the strongest box in the world. The top is quite flimsy and it does scuff up really easily, but to be completely honest, I don't think that's too much of a big deal. Some basic facts on the gun before we move on. It uses a single 12-gram CO2 capsule, has a 41 round magazine, and it holds .177 steel BBs. So that's 4.5mm or 1.77 round BBs. It's a semi-auto only, and I'll move on in a minute, but it has got a double action trigger as well. So we'll move on to the inside of the box just to show you what you get. Now, when you open up the box, this is what you're presented with. Now, the first thing I will show you is the manual here. Now, although it does look like quite a thick manual, and it has got this lovely picture on the front, you only really have a page and a half per language. So this will be the English section here. It's all about safety, loading your CO2, etc. And then obviously fitting the rail, and then also adjusting the sights and cleaning it. And then you move straight on to the German. So you don't get many pages per language, but you do get a lot of languages. Obviously, being quite a widely distributed gun, that's going to benefit a lot of people. So other things included in the box are this little Picatinny rail here. Now, the one that came with this gun here is plastic with little metal feet on. Now, some people may want to swap that for a metal rail. I think it's just personal preference, but that fits on the top of the gun, and I'll show you later how that works. Also included in the gun, obviously, are the tools to fit the rail, which is simply just an Allen key and a few little screws. You also have this plastic 41 round magazine. Now, loading this magazine really couldn't be easier. You pull down the spring like so. It locks at the bottom, as you can see here. And to load your BBs, you literally push down this little triangle here, and that just opens the top up, and you can just pour BBs in with a speed loader. It's really quick, really effective. And then when you're done, this small button on the bottom here, push that, and as you can see, the spring guide goes straight back to the top. So, show you what else. One thing that is included with this gun that I know isn't included in a lot of the other continents' guns, such as America, Canada, that kind of area, is this metal butt plate here. Now, this is to attach onto the back. As you can see, you've got your pin attachments here, and also your CO2 screw here. It's also got on it a little sling attachment here, so if you've got a tactical 3-point sling or something, you can fit it. As I said a second ago, this is all metal, and it's a really nice feature because it means that you can turn your Mp5 PDW into an Mp5K, and you basically got a handheld carbine, which is really quite fun to shoot. So we'll move on to the gun itself. So we'll just take this out of the box and move the box out of the way. Okay, so this is the gun. Now, as you can see here, and as I mentioned a minute ago, this is a fully licensed replica. So you've got the H&K markings on the front. Now, unfortunately, being a very dark red, they don't come out overly too great on here, but you can see it's got Mp5K written just underneath it. You've got your fire selector switch here, which you can just operate with your thumb. Now, a nice feature of this is the fire selector is fully ambidextrous, so if I just hold my thumb out the way, you can transfer from either side. Now, construction of this pistol here, this carbine here, is full plastic. All of the internals seem to be metal that I can see. However, on the grand scale of things, most things are plastic on the outside, apart from the trigger, and then this plate here that holds the stock on. Now, as you may have already guessed, the stock on this does unfold. To unfold it, you simply push it up slightly, and then just, hopefully, there we go, unfold it like so. And if I place that down, we now have the PDW version. Now to put that in perspective compared to a normal MP5, I'll bring in my other MP5 here, and as you can see they are fairly similar lengths when they're unfolded. Obviously when you do put the stock in on this one, it is a lot smaller. Obviously this stock retracts as well, but as you can see it is a lot smaller. So in the grand scheme of things, it's the ideal tactical weapon. Obviously when it's hidden away, it's nice and compact, and then when you bring it out it's a nice carbine sized rifle, which is a really good feature to have. Okay, so now that you can see just a general size comparison, we will move that MP5 out the way and we'll continue on with the review. Now the sights on this are as you would expect with an MP5. You have your rear sight here which you can turn, and then your fixed windowed sight here. Now a really good feature with this gun is that the cocking handle here does pull back the ejector port here, so you can actually see in, and obviously release it down forward, the ejector port does go. Now this gun is blowback. It's described as being blowback. Now all that basically means is when you fire it, the port comes back like so. Obviously the hammer doesn't move, but the port does. Now it isn't blowback as you would expect with a pistol. You don't feel a huge kick, but you do notice that something is moving. So you do know that something's going on inside the gun. Now the trigger on this gun is a double action only trigger only, so we just put it onto fire as you can see here. So you bring it into your bite and then click like so. You can't pre-cock it or anything like that, and then fire, it's just double action. Now the reason for this being is, I don't know if this will come out in the video. No, it won't, unfortunately. But when you fire, the barrel and all of the firing mechanism side moves forward, and then as soon as the pellet's been expelled, it goes back into place. As you can see inside here, you can see things moving around. Now, as I said, it is a plastic construction gun, however it is quite a nice quality. The full muzzle brake here, you just unclip it like so, rotate it round, and it comes off to leave you with the K look, so to speak, for when you have the K butt plate on. To put that on, it's really simple. Push it in, clip it in like so, and then it's done. Now on the other side of the gun there aren't really many features apart from the fire selector switch. A little bit here just saying Umarex product, just saying that it's copyrighted and painted and whatnot. But apart from that there isn't anything else really to add. Now to load the CO2 in really couldn't be easier. I'm going to fold the stock away like so. Now as you can see we have these two pins, one here and one here. Now you push those from the other side, and as you can see they pop out. Now one thing mentioning, especially with this top pin here, is that when you push it out there is a small butterfly clip on the back of it, and it really does hurt your finger. It's a little metal pin and it just sticks out enough to irritate you when you take the pin out. Now as you can see the two pins here are perfectly out, which means that you open up like so. Now the CO2 fits in this little hole in here that you can see here, and the pin has to be all the way out. If it's still in like so, the capsule won't go in or out. So making sure that this pin is all the way out, slide your CO2 capsule in, place this plate back on the end, and then just pop the pins in like so. Now all you have to do then is just tighten up the screw, as you can see here. Now one thing to mention is when you have finished tightening up the CO2, obviously the CO2 is then live. If you decided halfway through shooting that canister that you wanted to put the K attachment on, you couldn't without having to get a new capsule, so you can't like interchange between each CO2. Now I found this is a bit of a negative in my opinion, because I put the K attachment on thinking yeah that'll be great, and after about a magazine you do get slightly bored of holding it out and you do want to put the stock back in. Again, that's personal preference, that may be different for other people. Now as you saw earlier in the video, it has got the Picatinny rail that comes with the gun, and that fits just here and here, and then you could fit any form of optical that you want. I've seen people doing it, reflexes, scopes quite a lot, You can also get EOTechs that fit on as well, which would be quite nice. So your optics are quite varied there. You can use whatever you want. CO2 consumption wise, this rifle here will get 2 magazines out of a single 12-gram CO2 cartridge. You'll be hard pushed to get any more than 6 shots in a third magazine. It might not sound great, it might sound like only 2 magazines worth, but when you consider that each magazine holds 41 rounds, that's a total of 82 shots, which is about average for any normal blowback pistol. You can tell when the gas is getting low because the port here won't move back any further. It just goes forward again, and you can hear it as well. Anybody that's familiar with CO2 guns, or even a particular CO2 gun, will know that you can hear it. So that concludes our review of the PDW. As you saw, it's a really great gun. You can either have it carbine or out as a PDW weapon itself. The magazine as well, my only issue with this was when it's in K mode, you can't get any spare magazines, which is short. You can only buy spare magazines that are 41 rounds, which is a bit of a downside because maybe not every time you want to put 41 rounds in. But, you know, that's just personal preference. But overall, it's a really good gun. We picked this one up here in the UK from our local firearms dealer for £136 brand new. Usually it retails at just under 200 or just over 200, so it was a really good bargain on our part. It's a really good gun to get. It's one that I'd wanted for a while, so when I finally got my hands on it, it really was nice. I heard in other reviews that when you pick it up, it's a bit of a letdown because obviously it's only plastic. But to be completely honest, although it's only plastic, it is still a really nice gun to handle. As you may have heard before, the Beeman was always the gun that I used to pick up to just to fire and just have a bit of a mess around with in the garden, maybe plink some cans off. This is now that gun. I really enjoy getting it out. It's really fun to shoot. The trigger is it's a little bit heavy, obviously being double action, and after a while it can hurt your finger slightly. But, you know, that's just me being incredibly picky there. It is a fantastic gun. For the price you pay, it's well worth every penny. If you've got any questions, feel free to comment or email us, or check out our blog. We've got reviews of all the guns up there. If you haven't subscribed, feel free to subscribe again, or feel free to subscribe for the first time. Thanks again to all the support from our subscribers. You guys really are a great bunch of people. We'll have a full firing test of this video coming out soon, so keep your eyes open for that. That'll be our usual field test review. We'll have some targets, and I think we've got something slightly different to shoot this time, so hopefully that'll be really nice. So thank you for watching another one of our videos. Feel free to subscribe if you haven't already. Any questions, feel free to ask. Thank you.